Welcome on the ESO YouTube channel. I am Carmine Castagna, CEO of the Istituto Superiore, first school opened in Italy, who has a very long relationship with ESO Paris. And, tonight we are going to explain one of our projects to relate our school with other schools in Europe and around the world in order to offer our students the opportunity to travel a bit around the osteopathic education. As I told you, my name is Carmine Castagna, and I am here to represent and present the ISO to all of you. First of all, I want to thank all the people who want to share our live, and I want to thank also the people who will decide to see the live in the future. I'm going to present myself a little bit before starting with the interview of the presentation of Maria Compagnoni, who is the former student, now a professionist, who has the chances to spend some time at the ESO Paris for a project of education, sharing the opportunity to go to the ESO in Paris and spend some times with Parisian colleagues. I am, as I told you, a principal and CEO of ISO from 2010. I am an osteopath too, and I've been studying, and I'm a former student of ISO. My career started in 2008 when I had a degree in osteopathy, and from the point I always continued to studies osteopathy and study also other subjects like medical education. I am very passionate to the profession and to medical education. So from 2010, I am also the principal of ISO, and I'm working with more 100 osteopaths who share this path with me, the path of osteopathic education. And I am glad and honored to introduce you our school. But in particular, I'm very glad to introduce you one of our students who today is a colleague that was talking about before. It's Maria Compagnoni, who is going to share with us his experience with ESO. She attempted a week of lecture and training at ESO Paris with our Parisian colleague. I don't want to take more time to the most interesting part of this slide, which is the Maria, who is going to talk about his experience. I'm glad and I'm very happy to share this live because it could be inspiration to all other students who want to have this kind of opportunity to travel around the world and share experience about learning osteopathy during his education and in the undergraduate training and education. I'm really happy now to introduce you Maria Compagnoni, who probably is going to come here.
Yes.
Here we are. Hi, Maria.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to see you, and now the stage is yours. You can you can share with us your wonderful experience. Please.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm Maria, and I'm going to talk to you about my experience at ESO in Paris. And for this, I made a really small presentation to show you, so you can follow me into my next steps. So I'm going to share my presentation with you. Perfect. Okay. So as I told you, my name is Maria, and now I'm delighted to have the opportunity to introduce myself to you today. As an healthcare profession, my journey into the world of osteopathy has been a discovery of passion and dedication. It all started during my time as a medical student, when after an injury, I met an osteopath. I learned more about osteopathy principles and practice, and as I learned, as I found myself really captivated by its holistic approach to healthcare. In fact, unlike traditional medicine, osteopathy focuses on treating the body as a whole unit, emphasizing the pursuit to balance rather than the treatment of a specific and individual symptoms. And this was a really revelation to me. And I knew that as I saw an osteopath doing his work, I know that I found my calling. And this is why, after the discovery of osteopathy, I made the decision to pursue the career in this field. And I embarked in a journey of exploration, attending different open days at various osteopathic schools to find the right one for me, so the right fit for me. And I decided to enroll to ESO, where I immersed myself in the study and the practice of osteopathy for 5 years. And today I am so proud because I can say that I'm finally an osteopath, and I'm doing a job, I'm working as an osteopath in an independent practice servicing Bormio, Romano di Lombardia, Milan, and Bergamo. Here in Bergamo, I have the privilege to be a part of a dynamic interdisciplinary team specializing in physioposturology, where we combine our expertise to provide a comprehensive care to our patient. I really care about helping osteopathy grow through teaching. This is why I'm so proud of being an health teacher at ESO in the fascial department. And here I can share my love for osteopathy. I think good osteopath really needs to keep learning and studying. And this is why I'm also a student. I'm still a student. I am taking different courses, postgraduate courses in different fields, one in temporomandibular joint and orofacial pain, one in pain management, and the other one on breathing. So this is who I am, and I decided to introduce myself first. But now I want to say to you my experience. So I will start from here, from what I thought when they first asked me to go in a cultural exchange program. I had a lot of feelings in that moment, because on one end, I felt curiosity and desire to learn more. And this curiosity and this desire were pushing me forward. But at the same time, the school schedule that was really busy held me back from this decision. And also the thought that I had to speak in a foreign language, because I've never studied French before. So this was a little bit scary for me. And also the thing that you should know that the last year of osteopathy was filled with assignments to submit, clinical training to do, clinical exams, theoretical exams, and also there was the thesis to deliver. So everything was really packed and I didn't know what to do. So after everything, waving everything up, I realized I realized the desire to challenge myself. And this is why my curiosity learned the wish to learn about osteopathy in another country, not just in Italy, so from another point of view. These things made me make the decision to say yes. And so this is why I said yes to the school, and I decided to leave to go to Paris. One thing that really helped me was the thought that osteopathy is a practitioner-dependent field. So each osteopath approaches patient care in a different way. Therefore, being exposed to different teaching styles and techniques was priceless for my growth and development as an osteopath. So this is why I decided to start and to go to ESO. That is a school in Paris. This school is situated in a campus in Paris, and this campus is really huge. It hosts various degree specialization, and it is home to diverse community of students. So it was a really different environment for me and for my friends that were with me. And my time in France was organized to ensure a rich experience. From the moment we arrived in Paris, we were warmly welcomed from the staff and the faculty of ESO. And I'd like to talk to you about how the days went and how the schedule was. So every school day began at 8 o'clock in the morning with lectures or clinical practice in their clinic. We had the opportunity to learn new techniques, observe different approaches to patient care, and engage in hands-on practice under the guidance of different skilled professionals and professors. And firstly, I like to analyze the schedule, the school schedule, because there are some differences between the ESO teaching style and the ESO teaching style. So the school year schedule is pretty much like our, but the classes were smaller, even if the students were a lot, because they were like triple time than us in the whole institute, but the classes were smaller. Every class has got like from 20 to 30 students. Instead, my class at ESO were 55 students. And another thing that is different is how they organize lessons and how they learn things, because they divided the teaching style from body parts. For example, when they study the shoulder, they look at the shoulder from all point of views. So from the biomedical aspect, biomechanical one, nervous one, etc., like facial things, visceral things, everything. So you study the shoulder and then you analyze every different aspect of it. Instead, at ESO, we used to have different subjects, and every subject was like neurology, like pathology, but they didn't focus on the same regional aspect. So it was different in this way. And also the teacher we were used to have different teacher in every different subject. Instead, they've got the same teacher all the year teaching all different subjects. So we had more teachers. They have one teacher for each year. And the teacher followed them in both the theoretical part and also the practice part. So this approach is different from ours. And it was really nice to see a different approach and understand that you can learn things in different ways. So you can also understand which one is the right fit for you and is better for you. And okay, another thing that I really want to talk about to you is the clinical part, because I think this part is really important from both the student way to live, but also the practitioner, so the osteopathic way to live for an osteopath. And before describing the ESO, I would like to discuss the clinical practice at ESO, because maybe someone of you don't know how the things are done here, so I can explain both parts to you. And in ESO, the clinical internship takes place at the CMO, that is the Osteopathic Center of Medicine, and is located in Milan. It's next to the school, to the ESO school. During the 3-year undergrad program, all the students undertake observational internship. And during the 2 master here, so the 4th and the 5th year of the school, the internship is both observational and practical. And during the consultation, the student became the osteopath, and there is a tutor that provides feedback to the student and that is available to address any doubts or concerns that the student may have, and the tutor is offering guidance and support to the students. So this is how we do things in ESO. Instead, in ESO, there were some differences, of course. And first of all, the main difference was the building, because there are more students, so the building was pretty huge. It has got like 3 floors, and 2 of them were just with treatments room. So it was really big. And this different style of building was helpful for a different style also of clinic, because one difference that was really that you notice for sure was the thing that the students in ESO immediately contact patients and handle the administrative tasks of scheduling appointments rather than relying on receptionists like we do at ESO. And a substantial difference lies in practice of working in pairs during the clinical activities. Unlike ESO, the students manage both patient consultation, and unlike ESO, where the students manage both the clinical and the practical consultation with documentation and everything. In ESO, they worked in pair. So while students were doing the osteopathic work, was like treating the patient, the other, his friend in the couple, was writing a report every time, every day. One of them was practicing and the other was doing a report with every patient's condition and progress of the treatment. Another different thing was the organization of the clinical days, because students were assigned to different rooms and different areas of observation every hour. So every hour they need to move from room to another. Instead, in in ESO here, we've got one room and we stay there as long as we have got patient. And another important difference, that was the one that impressed me the most, was the thing that the teacher not always entered in a room during the treatment, during the consultation, but sometimes they entered, but a lot of times they didn't. So it was the student that had to go out and speak with the teacher, but sometimes the teacher didn't see the patient at all. So for them, it was really difficult to explain to the professor without knowing that the professor didn't see the patient. So it was a little bit different. And another different thing was that during the practical hours in clinic, if the students didn't have treatments or didn't have patients to observe, they had got different little classes, and every day that class changed. So every day they got a specific subject with a specific professor, and sometimes the professor weren't from the school. So an external professor, like doctor, like physiotherapy, like nurses, went to the school and teach these small classes to everyone. And I've mentioned 2 articles presented in the lecture we attend. One lecture was focused on the importance of pelvic floor rehabilitation in females, and it was delivered by a physiotherapist. And the other lecture was about the utilization of smart objectives in clinical practice. They were both really important for me and really interesting to listen to. Also because if you think, if they didn't have anything to do, they'd got a class. So their clinical hours were really full. The thing that I would like to say to you the most, to talk to you the most, was my clinical experience as a student and as a person, and now as an osteopath. And while I was in France, I got to see and try a new way of doing things. And this really helped me to learn more about treating patients. I saw different methods and got to practice them myself. And that made me better at my job because I got a lot of tools and a lot of new tools to use. And talking to people and to their ideas and experience made me realize that there is always something to learn in healthcare and in life. And that made these things made me more flexible in my own work. And I really wanted to learn more after this experience, and I want to learn more also now. But one of the coolest things about my time in France was how many different kind of patients I got to help, because there were different patients from here, of course, from the cultural reasons, but also from aging reasons, because in French, I saw a lot of kids and also a lot of older people and everyone between them. And I understood that each one of them had got special needs and special things to learn from. And I understand how it's difficult to take care of people of all ages and backgrounds. And that showed me the importance to customize healthcare to each people and each needs that the specific people has got. Because you want to give them the treatment that they really need, the right one, I mean. And thinking back on my clinical experience, I realized that the most valuable thing that this experience gave me was the chance to learn about myself. And this it's kind of funny because the environment was really different, everything was different, but the thing that I loved the most and that I think it was more helpful for my entire life, like an osteopath, was the self-analysis and the self-consciousness that I learned from this experience. Because right from the start, being a new healthcare setting made me compare the new setting to the one that I was used to. And this made me look closely at how I do things in my clinical work, finding out that I got something that was really good and something that I needed to improve. But sometimes if you stay in the same habitat, you cannot understand them. So it was really important for me to move in another country with another language, with everything new, to understand what I was good to do, in what I was good, and in what I wasn't. So I was especially interested in how French students were so skilled at doing different tests. They were really precise and make them look it really easy. I saw this as something I could learn and I could use to make my own approach better. While I was figuring out where I needed to improve, I also discovered strengths that I didn't realize, like, for example, the importance of the hands-off approach. And I realized in that occasion that I was particularly good at it and that we were trained to do it. And I didn't know that before because I never saw a different clinic part in where I could compare myself. And what changed the most for me, I mean, the thing that changed my students' thought and also beliefs was this confidence that I found there in France. And then this confidence, I brought my new confidence here with me as a student. And that was so strong because when I remember a few weeks after I come back from France, I had one of my final exam, the FOPE it's called. And in that exam, the student has to talk with 4 teachers. And before this experience, I was always nervous before the exams because I really thought about what the other people thought of me and what could happen, and my anxious and everything were really difficult to control. Instead, I remember when I went and in this exam from discussing with my professor, I remember to say to myself, okay, I have to speak with them in Italian. I've done worse in French, so I can do it. And I was really relaxed, chill, and calm. And this was a thing that I really wish for every student because that really changes your self-consciousness, but also your grades in school. So it's kind of important when you are a student. And another thing that I love the most as a student was the opportunity to interact with students from different countries, different schools, because exchanging ideas, sharing experiences, building friendships, because after clinic, of course, you talk with who you met, and so you can also stay with them a little bit. And this was invaluable and added a unique dimension to my learning experience. Another thing that I want to talk to you about is how this experience helped me with my life of osteopathy. So from an osteopathic point of view, a professionist point of view, because As an osteopath, having confidence in my abilities and stepping out of my comfort zone has helped me interact better with every healthcare profession. I really have to think this experience if I'm working in an interdisciplinary team now, because the first time I met them, I was scareless. I mean, I was trusting myself and I put trust in my capabilities, but I just understand that this thing, I learned it from my experience in France. I didn't have that before, so it was so nice to enter in my working world with new tools to approach with other professions. I've learned also to express my opinions more easily without fearing judgment from others. And I also learned how to fit in a different environment. So kind of in a different place from the school that I was used to. And that helped me a lot with my job, because when you enter in a new situation, of course you have fear, you feel lost, but if you have done that before, it is more easy. So it was a really good chance to challenge myself before my working life. And of course, there I've been able to understand and to learn from different professors and different habits. And I think my osteopathic skills were before of this, were not so good as after my week. And it was just a week. But the thing I really want to say to you is that it doesn't matter if it's just a week. That week really changed me. And this is why I am here today. Probably before this experience, I would never done one live in English, because it's scaring and it puts you to go in a different zone, out of your comfort zone. And at the beginning it's scary, of course, but I think the thing that I really want to share to you is that it is so nice to go out of your comfort zone in an environment that is still not the real world, because you are still a student, so you are like protected in a way, but it is so nice. And in conclusion, I can say this experience was really important to me, both as a person, but especially as an osteopath. So I'm really thankful that you listened to this story. And I think some of you, after this leader speech, is curious and want to try this experience. And thank you all for listening. I think if someone has a question. Oh.
Yeah, thank you, Maria, for your wonderful story. Thank you for sharing with us all the little part, but very, very emotional and important in an experience like that. So if there are anyone who want to question or want to know some aspect in specific, we are very glad to answer. In particular, Maria. And if not, we can say bye to all of you and wait a little bit more. Maybe next time. And thank you, Maria, again. I really love to hear you sharing your experience. Thank you very much for the passion you show every time you talk about osteopathy and about every experience in your life. Really, I'm really glad you are an osteopath graduated in our school. I'm really glad we can share a path at the ESO with you. You're a great person. I really appreciate the passion you share with us.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity. So that was the most important thing. So thank you so much.
Nice. So, guys and girls, hope to see you again in another live of our channel, YouTube channel, and hope to see you soon next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.